Welcome to the Dad's Corner, where fathers unite and stand strong against the challenges that life throws our way.
Here, we celebrate the victories, learn from the defeats, and support each other through every step of this incredible journey.
Father, please grant me the strength to withstand the shots and shooting like Teflon. Running through these obstacles, all the opposition gets stepped on. Dedicated to the mission, steadfast in my commitment, and I'm standing on business. You with me? Father time, the enemy crossed the line. Trying to get in my head, but I'm of sound mind. This is by design, putting it all on the line. I will lift my hands, I get down, I get down, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Hit like Father time, yeah, I get down for mine. Go hard like Father time, yeah.
What up, what up, what up? Episode 4.
We made it.
4.
We made it.
We made it past the 3 kill mark. Most podcasts don't make it past 3. We're at number 4. 4 to forever.
Four out of forever, man.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Dad's Corner. Don't forget, like, subscribe, show us some love, leave a comment, anything you want to talk about, things you want us to go over. First thing we got to talk about has nothing to do with podcasts. The Yankees hat.
Hey, go join our Facebook group as well. Like we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff over there.
I want everybody to talk about it in every social media platform. I want people to comment on that hat.
Look,
we're in Arkansas. You're not even from there.
I didn't know you were gonna highlight this like this, bro.
When I saw you put it on, I thought, oh my God, is it? No, it's not Jay-Z. It's still Tony. Why do you have that New York?
So, okay.
Does that got something to do with it?
You gave me a little bit of an out right there. I'm going to ride on it. Okay, so, like, I've got some camouflage. Like, if you can see this hat, it's got, like, some, like, camo print.
Gotcha. Thought you spilled something on it, honestly.
It's got some camo print.
Okay.
And so, I have, like, a couple of outfits that have, like, that same type of print. Not all over stuff, just very subtly. And so...
See, I got that type of camo that's
just that little, you do. And so just that little splash goes hard. I didn't see the splash whenever I got the clothes, I got the hat. This was the only hat that had that splash. That's why I got it. I don't necessarily like the New York Yankees. I don't like the Yankees. I'm not a Yankees fan.
That's the thing with guys though. I will buy a hat if I like the hat. I don't almost care what it says if I'm like, man, that's a good. Because see, here's the... Oh, my gosh. This is perfect. I swear we didn't plan it. I swear we did not plan this. See, I'm more of a all over.
No, I feel camo. That. I like that. No, that looks good.
Camo hat on.
Oh, wait, because that's no, look at you, bro. That's who you are. Yeah. Like, I love it.
It's like a little bit of me right there.
That's all I wanted to do. Yeah. I just wanted to bring a little bit of that type of energy.
It did. I just sat down and I immediately saw it. I'm not even like a huge baseball fan, but I got upset about it. When you sat down, I don't even know.
It's crazy. So, and here's the thing is that I have worn all kinds of hats. Like, and I love a good hat. If it looks good, if it's got some type of unique thing about it, I'll rock it. I'll put it on.
You like what it looks like because you do wear a Commander's hat sometimes.
So, and I started liking the Commanders because of the Washington. So I wear a lot of W stuff, a lot of it just because of Washington. I wear like it's pretty bad. So anything with a W.
Nice to know though. You're like, I don't care.
Anything with a W, I will rock it.
Okay.
And if they're not playing one of my teams, I will root for a Washington.
So who's your team?
Like baseball?
Well, let's go baseball first. Who's your team?
I like the Royals.
Okay.
I like the Royals. Football, I have a couple of different sets. Like, really, I'm an OU fan. So anywhere that a Sooner goes,
That's Dad's Corner, guys. We appreciate it.
anywhere that a Sooner goes,
What?
I tend to go there.
Razorbacks play Oklahoma. Who you cheering for?
Oklahoma, OU.
All right.
Well, that's
get to
gonna
that.
be a big. That's gonna be a big one.
Gosh,
That's gonna be a big one. I'm excited about
What about pro football?
it. That's what I was talking about. Anywhere
that they go.
I like. So I liked the Browns. I liked the Cardinals for a little bit.
But if you had to pick one right now and said that's my NFL team, that's my squad.
I mean, I'm probably gonna go with the Chiefs.
Okay. Are you a bandwagon Chiefs fan, or were you a fan before?
I like the Chiefs.
Okay.
I've always liked the Chiefs,
Okay.
but
That's fair.
I really go for I don't even necessarily watch a whole lot of NFL football.
Right.
But I check my OU players that have progressed.
Yeah.
I check their stats and I'm like, oh, I like them. I like that.
That makes sense. I'm
so
about to ask this, even though I already feel like I know the answer. Basketball?
I'm a LeBron fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm different whenever it comes to
No, you're not.
those things.
You're not.
I-
You're like a lot of people.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm different. I like Cleveland. I like the Miami Heat. I've always liked the Heat.
No, I like the
And I like the Lakers.
The only time I've ever liked LeBron was when he was on the Heat.
I have never liked the Lakers until LeBron went to the Lakers. Well,
Man,
and now I like the Lakers. I kind of wanted to like the Lakers in the past, but
I didn't like the Lakers when Shaquille was there. Because I thought that's too easy. Like, almost. That's why I didn't really care for LeBron going to Miami, because I was like, that's got a lot of talent. I mean, you know. But, man. That's
I'm that guy. Okay, vice versa. Switch the roles. Basketball.
Rockets. Tried and true. I'm talking all the way from Olajuwon, Drexler days.
I like the Rockets too.
Yeah,
I like
Tracy
McGrady.
McGrady, and
Matt.
that was probably one of my favorite stretches of being a Rockets fan. Just because when they won the championships, I was too young, didn't care about that much. But then Tracy McGrady, the 11 points in 9 seconds or whatever it was, 12 points in 10 seconds, I think it was, against the Spurs. That was incredible. They never had enough to get past the Spurs, but I was like, man, it was cool. It was cool to have him on there. Rockets, even to this day, not great right now. Don't want to talk about today.
Yeah,
but even when I was a huge Harden fan just when he was at the Rockets, and then when he left, I was like, see.
Oh, so I should say that. So Oklahoma is my core team.
Right.
And I almost I always forget stuff like that just because I feel like it goes without saying, but I haven't said that to y'all and you don't know. And so Oklahoma, because that's where I'm from.
Right. Which makes sense.
So Oklahoma, I'm always root for Oklahoma. And then the transition that brought Oklahoma to be a team was Seattle Supersonics. Now that was my team growing up as a kid, the Seattle Supersonics. So I love Sean Kemp and Deadlift Shrimp, Gary Payton. I like those people. And Sean Kemp was my favorite player growing up. And so Seattle Supersonics was my team. And now that they're the Thunder, that's who the farm team was. And so now that they're the Thunder, I like the Thunder.
Yeah, that's a Seattle Supersonics. That's bringing up from the past.
Yeah, and that's
Sean Kemp was always mad at the rim. I mean, mad. Well, he never dunked a ball normal. It was always, let's see if I can clear that rim right off that back.
Okay, football.
Broncos. And this was Elway, Terrell Davis.
Okay.
I'm kind of one of those, I found a team early on and just had to stick with them. And then you live in here, can't stand the Cowboys because that's who everybody likes. So that's kind of one of those.
Yeah.
So
baseball.
But not a huge baseball fan, in general. So if I had to pick, I kind of like the Orioles, but they're having a good year this year. But I don't know about them. Yes, I thought that's a record that people just I don't think understand. I mean, guys can't even play a whole season now, and he played, I think it was 11 straight. So it's that record was cool. But again, I don't know. I can't really say I'm a big baseball fan. Too long, too slow.
Soccer.
So if we're gonna go, it'd have to be international because I don't know a lot of the
Yeah, I don't either.
Local,
I
like
just
American
just
teams.
throwing that out there.
But I've always been like FIFA's always been kind of my favorite time of the year. Like Ronaldo.
Okay.
I feel like everybody likes him or Messi.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo's just, I feel like he's gifted. And I've always thought it was really cool how he went to the podium to do a press conference. They had a Coke sitting on the table. He took the Coke off, put a water up, and said if you'd stop promoting things like this, people could be healthier. And like he doesn't let his kids drink. Like it was just kind of one of those. He was like, I don't care how much money. Like he was going to get fined for doing that. He was like, I don't care. He's like, I don't drink it, so I'm not going to sponsor it.
Yeah, straight up.
So I always thought that was super dope.
Straight up tennis.
Men or women?
Okay, let's go, Jayson. Look at you.
Hey,
He's real.
go.
You're a real one. Okay.
I mean, obviously, women. Serena.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
I think she's kind of on a whole nother stratosphere. Men, either I like the Andre Agassi days. Like I know a lot more about now. It just seems like you got Nadal, Djokovic. Like it kind of feels like they're just dominating it. Like they dominated it for so long. But I was like that Agassi, Sampras.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun time. Golf.
Like all time or just like right now?
All time. You can go all time.
You gotta be Jack.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of majors, in terms of wins, in terms of gotta be him.
Tony Washington is my name. TW is my initials. Tiger Woods.
Obviously.
So, yeah, man. Okay. Look.
Hold on, real quick. Did you see what happened with him? So he didn't make the cut this last weekend, right? Somebody, can't remember his name because I'm not a huge golf fan, but somebody said one of the golfers was like not really sure why he's basically in the field, and they asked him about it, and he was like, "Well, because I won 3, I'm exempt until I'm 60, so I basically don't have to win to get in. I just get to come play because I won." And he said, I mean, whatever that guy's name is, he goes, "Well, he hasn't won yet, so he doesn't really understand that." It was just like the biggest flex of like, I've got 3 and this guy's won 1.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So,
All right, we spent a lot more time on that than what I thought too, and it all started.
We want.
It all started because of this hat. Like, I wear with hats. Another thing about the hat, and my son tore this, like ripped this off a while ago. My sticker. I like to keep my sticker.
Like to leave the sticker.
Like my sticker. So I lost a sticker on one of my other hats, and now there's a ring there because it got like
left it on for so long that now.
So I'm trying to find
dirty.
I'm trying to find some stickers. Like I just want to have some stickers on deck, some new era stickers on deck. If you can find that,
hey, if you don't mind, I just want the stickers. Oh, what hat? You're like,
if you can find that, maybe I'll get my own. Maybe we'll start making some stickers. Maybe we'll make our own stickers.
I like it. Just for the hats.
Just for that. Sticker hats. Hat stickers. All right. Anyway.
Last thing on the hats. What's that hat you wear? Fitted hat.
7.5.
I just bought a cowboy hat. And
7 3/4. 7, not 3/4.
mine's like 7 5/8.
7 5/8 is really my size.
That's a large hat.
7 5/8.
If you'll notice, I'm on a snapback and I'm on the second button from the last. And it is, I don't know if you can tell from the skin folding around it, but it's pretty tight on my head.
I'm second button right now. If I let my hair grow out any, like it's like
I one time in college had such long hair, about 8.
I had long hair, bro. I was an 8.
Mine was like,
That's funny.
Long, mine was like probably, when I say long, mine was like,
that's funny.
it wasn't like draped long hair. It was just kind of like long.
I had braids.
Big old goofball.
I had braids. My hair was long, like down here. And like sometimes I'd have like thick braids and stuff. I'd wear a hat, and you wear that. Back then it was like.
That's how I love whenever they win like say the finals, and these guys have, or even whether it's football, but any of them, and their hair's done like that, and they always give them World Series hat or here's your NBA Finals hat, and it's like these guys, even like there's some, and it just like sits up like this because they can't pull it down. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, don't give it to them right now. Like,
Yeah.
give it the back. Like, let make them wear it right now. Give him a shirt. You know what I mean? Give him the confetti.
Yeah.
Don't put the hat on his head because now he looks like an idiot while he's doing his interview for the NBA Finals.
There's been so many times because that was a different era too. Like That was like
Ben Wallace, when he had the fro, trying to wear the hat when they won.
oh gosh, yeah.
And how you were having he just literally, they just set it on top.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, that was a different era, like, in clothing and wear and all that stuff. And the way that hats, like, now I think a lot of people, like, you know, you wear fitted, like, you're form-fitted, like, it's baseball, you know, it's...
Used to, it was like just hanging on your head.
It was just so, if it was small, you could just throw it up there, like...
That's why them dancers flex with their foot and catch it, because it's just lands. Oh, geez. Well, we got one of the first time on this episode, we got a comment, and so from one of our subscribers, and so we asked a question that was like, what is the biggest thing that you've learned from your father growing up, whether it be life lessons, whether it be work ethic, whatever it was. And so we had a comment from one of our subscribers, and he said that one of the biggest things that his dad taught him, he has kids that are 14 and 16, and he said one of the biggest things that he found was that chores. And he said when you're a kid, you're doing chores, he's like, it kind of, you know, it stinks, you don't understand why you're doing them. But he said now that he has kids and he looks at it, he says it's not a punishment. He says, and it's also not, because I joke around with my son like, oh, I can't wait till you can hold that weed eater. Like, well, I can't wait till you can do stuff. He's like, it's not about that. He said, but it's about teaching them how to do stuff on their own, so that when they go to college, when they do get their own family, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so I thought, man, that was crazy, because I had chores growing up. I mean, I had chores that, like, you didn't necessarily get an allowance for. It was like, do this or be grounded. You know, it wasn't like, do this and you get your allowance, you know. But it was like, it was just things that were expected. Hey, if you're going to stay at home all day during the summer, you're not going to do anything, you know, because there's not camp, or you're not, you know, doing this or that. Unload the dishwasher, right?
Yeah. Now
I know how to unload and load the dishwasher. I had a dishwasher growing up that, like, you pulled out of the cabinet and put in front of the sink and had to hook it up, right? Like, people just think they're built in the cabinets. Ours was like, you had to do it. And here's the thing, anything you couldn't get in that dishwasher, you had to hand wash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got good at putting dishes in there. Same with mowing. It was like, I worked for a mowing company, and my dad was like, hey, you're probably going to be the weed eater. Like, you're going to be the guy who's out there. The owner is going to be riding on a lawnmower. Sure enough. And I knew early on, I don't want to do this for a career. Or if I do, I'm going to be the top dog.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't want to have, you know. Right. So the comment got me to thinking, what's the biggest thing growing up that your dad either taught you that you try to do to your kids, or something that you still remember that he taught you, or kind of what was the biggest thing that your dad...
So first and foremost, my dad is now, I mean, he's a pastor. Gosh, that didn't even last
2 episodes in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
Last episode. Okay, so first and foremost, my dad is a pastor. And so I think that, you know, and he would, like, my whole life he hadn't been a pastor, but at some point he transitioned to that. But I think he always instilled in us to believe in God, to have, you know, just that spiritual baseline in our life, and to, you know, lean not to your own understanding, but trust in him in all his ways, and he will, you know, direct your path. And so that mindset, like, is probably the biggest thing. And then to be the man of the house. So it's God first, man, you know, you as a man, like, you need to take care of everything around you and be the one. And so, like, the way that he would instill kind of that man of the house mindset is, I would always watch him, and he would be doing things for my mom, do things for my sister, for me, like, and just taking care of stuff. He was always handling things, and he would take me with him to handle things. But whenever he had to go, like, on work trips, or had to go places, that was kind of the biggest thing that he would look at me and say, okay, you're the man of the house now. Like, you got to be the man of the house. And that just meant something. Like, it was a different mindset that shifted, like,
he's bestowing a responsibility.
Yeah, it was just that responsibility. So I think that's the one thing, and I find myself doing that to my son whenever Dex came out. Like, it was like, okay, I get to have a little me that's going to be the man of the house, do whatever I do things. And even at a young age, you can say that, and it's a mindset change. And so that's probably the biggest thing.
That's awesome. Man, for me, it was, Dad always showed me how to treat a woman. He taught me two big things in the kind of the same realm, but how to treat a wife, how to be respectful, but also a lot of times when you talk about marriage, it's always the women kind of serve the husband, right? And which is, I mean, how it is. They're supposed to serve each other, but you see it a lot of times as like the women are going to serve and the women are going to do this. And so one thing that I remember my dad always doing is every morning he fixed mom's coffee.
That's dope.
And so it was just tight how it was always like he immediately was like thinking of her. Like first thing in the morning he served her. Like he literally and figuratively served her a cup of coffee. And so it was one of those that like when he passed, mom was like, it's just crazy how much he made my coffee. Like how much like making her own coffee was kind of a sad thing because it was like she never had to do it. He just always did. Obviously she knew how, but it was just kind of one of those things that he did that I took for granted seeing him do it. And I'm like, because one time I even said, Dad, she can get her own coffee. He's like, right, but I can get it for her. And it was kind of like there's going to be times in your marriage where like maybe you don't want to do something. Just like Casey, if we have a bunch of friends or family over, she almost always makes my plate. I've never asked her to do it. And it's never one of those where it's like, you're my wife, you need to do it. It's just something she's kind of always done. And so I thought that was super awesome. But one other thing that he told me, and this was probably my most favorite thing, and I've literally, even at 4 and 3 years old, I've told both of our kids this. It goes God, your mom, and then y'all. You two are going to leave us one day. You're going to go start your own families. You're going to go do your own thing. Me and your mom are still going to be here. Me and your mom are still going to be like together. And so I was like, I love your mom more. God picked your mom out for me. He gave us y'all. But Cope, you're going to go start your own family. Colin, you're going to find a guy. You're going to go start your own family. And then you're going to be, that's your families. And so me and your mom will still be here, but then we're going to move down. And it's going to be God, your spouse, your kids, and us. And so always, especially when it comes to disciplining kids, remembering that you need to be there for each other and back each other up as opposed to trying to take up for the kids or, side with the kids. It's always one of those, even if I disagree with Casey on something or she disagrees with me, we try not to do it in front of the kids. Because then if they see that unanimous, like they see that wholehearted like relationship, and it's like, I always knew if I disrespected mom, I was done. Like dad was going to, I was going to catch some hands. But I also knew that like he respected her. I liked that. And I knew there was no turning them against each other. It was like if mom said it, dad's going to say it. This is how it is. So right. I think with parenting, especially with our kids, they know we're a united front, and we're gonna even if we disagree, we're gonna wait till we get to the bedroom or till we get later that night and say, hey, when this happened, I didn't necessarily agree with you, and let us talk about it then, because kids are good. Like kids, if they see you disagree, then they're like, oh,
I can play on that. And even at 4 and 3, I mean, if they see us disagree, then they can say, well, maybe I'll ask mom, or maybe I'll ask dad, and it just opens it up. So whenever I was young, like that was one of those things is I would be like, you'd ask one parent first, and then it would be the unanimous, like, okay, it's one front. And then you get smart about it, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have asked my dad first, or I shouldn't have asked my mom first. I should have asked my dad first. And so, like with our children, like if I've administered a grounding of anything like that, then Tiffany won't release it, and vice versa. Like if she said, okay, well, no game, like you don't get to play the game for the rest of this. For 2 days or whatever the time frame is, and then he asked me or she asked me if they can do it, then I'm like, I didn't ground you. Like, I'm not the one that said it. Yeah. So you can't ask me, like,
and my dad would be like, if they caught me doing that, if they caught me, or if mom said no, and then I asked dad, even if dad said yeah, if dad then found out that mom had already said no, then I was in trouble.
I was in trouble.
Now it was not only, no, you can't do it, but then it was like, now you got a punishment along with not being able to do it, right? And it was funny because I always laughed about it, but when dad was like, I don't want to go ask your mom, I'm like, but that's a no. Like,
exactly.
No, but you don't want to say no.
Exactly.
So you're telling me to, you have a mom
tell me no, so that way you can lock in with her. Man, there's a thing, and I was like about to try to look it up, but we'll just talk about it. Like there's a biblical idea of train up a child, and he won't depart from it, or he'll come back to it. And I'm just drawing a blank. I was going to try to look up the exact wording of it. Do you know it?
The prodigal son, almost.
Well, prodigal son is one of them, but there's actual verse like train up a child. Either way, the idea is like as they get older, they won't depart from the trainings that you taught them.
Yeah. And
I think that's such a great question that was asked. A great comment question that was delivered from our first on air comment. But I think that it's important that we also like really look at that. Is how are we preparing our children?
Yeah.
Like how are we setting the table for them? Like there are certain times. Yesterday we were going on a walk. So we were walking, me and Tylen, Timberland, and Triton. I was pushing Triton, but I had them dribbling the basketballs, and they dribbled the basketballs. And then on like the third lap that we took, I had them. One of them gave the other one the basketball, and I had them dribbling with two hands and all this stuff with two balls.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was harder, and they would go around. And then one time, like whenever my daughter got the balls, like she was dribbling, and she was like getting upset. I was telling her like, trying to motivate her. I was like, okay, babe, hey, don't give up. Just keep going. Like you got this. You got this. She was like, Dad, stop. I was trying to listen to the way that they were bouncing, and you did, and I was like, okay, like just figure it out. Like we're almost there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get there, and at the end of it, you know who Jim Rohn is.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned on some Jim Rohn in the house, and I was like, listen to this, and it was just talking about not blaming others and not being, the three things that you need to learn is to take accountability for yourself. Don't blame others, all of these different things. And, and she was like, okay, that makes sense. And because I looked at her and she was like, why are you looking at me? I said, well, you know why.
You know why.
And the idea is, and I was just explaining it to her, like, I need you to know this. You may not adhere to it. It may not take hold right now, but I need you to understand this, right? Like, I need you to hear it right now, that you can't be looking outside of self to blame things whenever things happen. And I said, I'm going to tell you this right now, because if I wait till you're 18 about to leave the house, and then I try to tell you real quick, like, hey, also don't blame people whenever stuff happens. If I try to wait till then you'll go out into this world, be unprepared, and you're going to be blaming people for stuff that is really something that you control. And so it just got my wheels turning as well, like that in training up a child, not everything that we show them, that we tell them, that we teach them out the gate is going to adhere, is going to take hold. But we don't want to wait until the time that they're about to leave our arc of safety to try to put them up on some real good game that they need to know in the rest of their life.
Yeah. And it's the same with, healthy eating.
All of it.
Like, if you start a child just eating nothing but fast food, and then when they get to an adult and expect them to like just eat chicken and rice, and it's everything like that. And so however you raise them now, and that's why there was never a time where my dad sat me down and said, I love God, I love your mom, I love like it, but he literally lived it. You know what I mean? And so it was one of those, like you said, he didn't wait till I was older. He just lived it and let me see it and be like, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I should react. And so how he treated mom is how I try to treat Casey. You know, I try to, I definitely don't make her coffee every morning, but I don't drink coffee really. So it's like one of those weird things. And of course, this was back in the day when it was like scoop and there's no Keurig. This was actually like making a pot of coffee and things like that. So, but it was the respect aspect of it. And also one of those where even if he disagreed with her, I knew they were united. And so even if he disagreed, there was not going to be because I tried it. Dad, talk to mom. Like, hey, if you do that, that's what your mom said. Like, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so I hated it at the time, but then when I got older and I was old enough to like respect it and to see, you know, even if he didn't agree with it, or even if he wasn't 100% on board, if she had already made the call, then he was like, I'm standing with her on that. And so I always thought that was super incredible. And it was just a good way for me to be like, when I find a wife, like I want her to know I got her back. Like, right, even if I don't agree with her, I'll stand there. Now I'll let her know later, like, hey, maybe we didn't handle that right. But in the moment, it's me and her.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right now. It's 2v2.
That's right.
It's us.
That's right.
I mean, you come outnumbered. You playing a zone defense right now. You can't do.
We are in a zone. We are in a zone, but we're handling it really well, I think.
We got one more comment actually that I wanted to go. So another listener actually put 3 things. So one thing his dad told him was there's always a way. No matter what's going on, if you want to get something done, there's always a way, which is awesome. Hard work and effort will help you accomplish more than natural talent. So, you know, God-given talent is great, but if you're going to work hard, God's going to reward you for the hard work. And then the last one was how to be an outdoorsman and just kind of how to live kind of outside off the land, do things like that. But he said, number 1 is probably what I think of the most, but there's always a way. He blows my mind with the things he does by himself. And so I think that's incredible too, because there's going to be a point. I got the skid steer stuck this last week, and I'm in the middle of the woods by myself. And father-in-law had already gotten one stuck, right? Or, well, had gotten it kind of lodged in. We cut a tree down and was able to just crawl it out.
Yeah.
But I went out there by myself, got it stuck. And I had this moment. Like, I was in the middle of the woods. And when I say middle, like, it's 80-ish acres. I was drop a pin dead center. I was right there. Nobody around. I'm by myself. I wasn't in danger.
Yeah.
But I was also like, how am I going to get this out by myself? Like, I've only been in the skid steer twice in my entire life. And I can get it out. And so I literally just worked the bucket and going back and forth and pushing myself and things like that, and finally got out. But it was one of those times where it was basically put up or shut up. Like, are you going to leave it in the middle of the woods and have them have to tow it or whatever? Or is it like, are you going to try to get it out? And so it's just one of those things where it was like, nobody's here to help.
Man,
so
those situations are crazy. Like, where you're just basically on an island and it's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
But they do teach you that. I love that lesson. There's always a way. Sometimes it's not the way that you want or the way that you saw it or the way that you envisioned it. But there is always a way. And I think that holds true for a lot of things in life. Like, even outside of like physical things that we are trying to accomplish. Sometimes it's emotional things that we may go through. Like, there's always a way to overcome it. Challenges that we may face, there's a way to get around it and to overcome those challenges. So I love that as a lesson. I think that that's something that, you know, that a dad may say, but I think that it's better seen.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever you can see that, whenever you can experience and really take heed to that, is whenever you see a dad figure out a way, whenever you see a mentor, a leader, somebody figure out a way to make a way out of no way. And I think that depends on, you know, just your, like I said, trusting God, like the faith that having faith that I will overcome this thing. And if you have faith in that, then you'll find a way. Yeah. Like, you won't, you know.
And not worried about tomorrow, you know, things. That's what the passage this weekend was over Matthew 6:34. You know, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Today has enough worry of its own.
100%.
So it's kind of one of those. And so I got one more. I'm going to ask you one more question on the spot. What is something that you said your dad, leadership, being the man of the house. What is something that you want to get, like that your kids, if they're doing this interview in 30 years, that they say, Tony with the keys, Dad told me this. And it'll be, I mean, you can do it for boys and girls, sons, daughters, or you can just do it as a whole. Like, this is something that Dad taught us.
That's good. To be inspired. Like, to be inspired and inspired by everything. Like, my kids sometimes say that I'm just too happy about everything. Like, that I can find a lesson in everything, that you know, everything is a teaching moment. And I don't teach them all that, like, I'm not just, but they say that I can find something, and that's something that I really do try to hone into them, is that everything is connected in some way, form or fashion. Like, there's good and there's God and everything. And so that's awesome. And so be inspired by the things that you see. Like, even if it's hard, like, be inspired to overcome that hard thing. Be inspired by the wins that you have. Like, be inspired. So I think that that's the one thing, is to just be inspired by the things, to be better than you were just a moment ago.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
What about you?
I would say believe in yourself. Like, no matter what, even with, like, starting this podcast, right? Everybody, even close people are going to, what you'll find is when you start a business or when you start to do something, there's going to be negative people.
Yeah.
And even when it's people that you think will support you no matter what, there's going to be people that are like, well, there's already a podcast. You know, there's already an insurance company. There's already, marketing. There's already somebody doing what you're doing. But if you don't believe it, then you're not going to it's not going to go anywhere. And so I want them to see, like, that whenever they talk about it, they're like, Dad took chances on himself. And so, like, I left a really good career to, like, go out on my own in insurance. And it was like, knew nothing about it, but it was like, I feel like I can do it. And so I want my kids to have, like, an entrepreneurial spirit about it. I'm not going to be the dad who, like, pushes college. They want to go, I'll support it. But also don't think that qualifies you more. Now, certain professions, obviously. Yeah. I don't want some guy who went to community college to be my cardiologist. Yeah. But I also don't think that, like, I think the trades are powerful. I think that there's different careers that people, when we were growing up, it was like, you need to go to school, you need to get that degree. If not, you're going to be doing these trades. And then now I'm sitting here as an adult going, man, the people who did those trades are doing really well for themselves.
They're set.
And the people who went to college, not all of them, obviously, but they got student loans.
Yeah.
And maybe still don't have the job they want or the career they want or doing what they want. And so it's like, you hear that thing of if you love what you do, you'll never work a day of your life. And I disagree with that. I think that if you love it, it'll just make you work harder at it. And so I think that if you have a job that you love, you'll work harder than you ever have. Like, I became a business owner because I was like, I want to not work. I want to not, I want to be able to leave and do what I want. But then I realized as a business owner, you're there more than anybody.
Yeah.
Because if you leave while the cat's away, the mouse will play. I mean, people just won't take the business serious. So I want them to know that, like, you try something. Because I don't want them to be sitting there at 60 going, man, what if I'd have done that?
There was and probably within the last year and a half, it became a real big buzzword, like imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And, believing in yourself. I love that. Like, believing in yourself. If you truly believe in yourself, you can outrun that imposter syndrome, because it's going to come. Like, there's going to be times where you feel like, well, should I be doing this? Mm-hmm. Like, am I as good as them? Like, well, somebody else is doing. So not only are other people going to say that, and we should expect that other people may say that, because I think that those are thoughts that we may have in our minds sometimes. Like, and maybe it's just a perpetual cycle of that negativity that just floats around, and you just have to, like, get it out of your sphere. But I think that real belief in yourself. And that comes from having somebody who, and not always, but I think the way that you're going to give it to them, it comes from having someone who does believe in you, who pushes you up, and promotes you. A lot of times we say, like, you know, and I've said it, that I'm going to protect my, you know, I'll protect you with everything I am. I'm going to protect my kids. I'll protect my wife. But talking about my children, like, I'll protect my kids. I'll protect them. I think that there's a point where, like, looking ahead, and it's so cool that we're able to look ahead. And it's because we can look back and we know that how far we've come, but we can look ahead to know that at some point they're going to be a teen. At some point they're going to actually leave the house, and at some point they're going to need to know how to cook. They're going to need to know how to do these things. They're going to need to know how to do laundry. They're going to need to know how to build a fence. They're going to need to know how to, you know, build a table. Like, they're going to need to know how to do all these things. You know, and it's important that we don't be so protective of them that we don't allow them to be prepared for those things. Like, sometimes it's gonna take some pressure. Like, you gotta, and because there's gonna be pressure in the future for them, like, I think that it's important that we apply some of the pressure. Like, we allow them to go through certain things. We let them bump their head sometime. Like, that's always the phrase. Like, I try to avoid head bumps and stuff. But like, we gotta let stuff happen to see how they handle it, and then problem solve. You allow them to go through something a little bit hard so you can see that, and then so they can know that you're there for them whenever they, you know, have questions about that thing. Yeah. And not just a safety net for them.
Well, and that's why Jordan Peterson, I was telling you about this earlier, he said, allow your kids to play dangerously if they're being careful. You know, and take that into context. It's not saying let them run out in the street, whatever they're doing, but if they're climbing on hay bales, but they're being careful, they're not like just running and jumping and being crazy, let them do it. Because then if you go out there immediately and you're like, oh, whoa, be careful, get down, then every time they have any kind of bump or fall, they're going to be looking for you. Whereas if they're on them hay bales and they fall and and they look around and it's like, all right, well, I got to be more careful, you know, and let your kids be kids and let them play, but also don't be just right there on top of them for everything that they do. So I think that's very, very true. So.
Yeah, man. It's, I don't know. It's like one of those things, man. Like, because there's a fine line. Like, you want to protect them because that's who you are. You're the man of the house. Like, but you also want them to be able to fend for themselves at some point. And if you don't start it early, like, teaches them, and this is just kind of going back to you know what I was saying earlier. Like, if you don't start it early and help them, like, train them up and help them build on it, and so that way they can understand one element of it, then they can start understanding another element of it. And I think that it's important that we kind of apply some of that before the world does, because the world is going to be cruel. Like, the world's going to be, it's not going to care, like, how hard it squeezes and how hard you scream. Like, at least if you're the one squeezing, you can be like, okay, is that the point that it hurts? Okay, so that's where it hurts. We need to get you strong right there, like, and you can understand it. But it's just one of those things, because you don't want to wait till they're about to leave. You don't want to wait till they're 18, till they're 17, and then try to teach. I said in that, I think the last episode I was talking about this. Maybe it was the one before, but I was talking about how we get 18 summers, basically. 18 summers, 1 through 4, 5 through 11 are probably, I just drove.
Listen, you're going to have to get this man some lunch.
Yeah, let me get some water. 5 to 11, 6 to 11, somewhere in there is where it's most impressionable.
Yeah.
Like those are the where the big changes happen, but those are also where the most like impressionistic things, like them seeing all of that stuff, you saying, believe in yourself, and then showing them how to believe in themselves and having confidence and all that stuff. That's where that happens. I think that 12 to 18, it's like, okay, now administering everything that I've learned and honing that and making sure that I'm good at what the stuff that I learned.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
And you keeping it, it's not necessarily now you're not like, oh, don't do this. Oh, be sure that you look over there. It's like now there's going to be some bumping of the heads.
Yeah.
Now there's going to be some falling and figuring it out.
And that's when you're like, remember, that's why I told you.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. That's why I told you to, yeah. Yeah. That's true, man. Well, hey, good stuff, dude.
It's great stuff.
I enjoyed it and loved it, man. Guys, that's episode number 4. We're going live August 8th. So if you're watching this, it's already August 8th. Thanks for supporting it. Don't forget, again, like, subscribe, join the Facebook group, go to YouTube, leave us a comment, topic you want us to talk about. Thanks today, Brent Jennings, Colt Wright. Thanks so much for the comments, guys. And for the topic today, we kind of had something else planned, but then we were like, heck, let's go that route. And so we're going to start having guests.
Yeah.
We're going to have a guest in a few weeks. So looking forward to that, bringing some new people on just to give different insights. So anything you want us to talk about, let us know. Tony, as always, thanks for everything you're doing, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, man. I believe there's going to be a lot of places, a lot of opportunities for community, for you to leave some comment, for your dad jokes, for your ideas, any topics that you want to talk about. And
Tony's hat.
Yo, don't come at me, man.
Come at him.
Don't come at
Sitting
me.
here with Hobo.
Like, I know I look like a nice guy, right? I look nice, but
This is a bulldog.
no, I'm just playing. No, but there's going to be a lot of places for us to build. We're building all kinds of stuff. YouTube, all of these different places that you can listen to our podcast on audio, the website. So everything is going to be built, and I'm excited for you all to just experience it.
Yeah, get you a Dad's Corner hat, shirt, get you some merchandise just to wear around town, start some conversations. We're a community together, so we're just here supporting, giving a little navigating fatherhood through heart and humor.
Yeah, you got one for us?
I don't have one. I was not prepared for it. You got another one?
Let me think. I had one. Bro, that's horrible. How do we not have a good one? Anyway.
Did you hear about the matter, baby?
What's talking about already?
Nothing. What's the matter with you? Got him back. Last week you hit me with the freebie.
What's the matter, baby? That's horrible, y'all. That was stupid. That wasn't even good.
Hey, all I got to say, close the dang door.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
All right.